Hey, I'm your host, Anthony Tank Mansfield, and with me this week is...
Justin Stewart.
And this is What You Into.
What you into? What you into?
All right, we're back in the basement. Justin 3000 Stewart is here for the fourth time. Welcome to the Ric Flair Club, the Four Horsemen Club.
Four Horsemen.
Woo! Here we are.
Here we are.
Do you, as a wrestling fan, do you have a favorite Four Horsemen?
Arn.
I'm with you, dude. This is exactly Ghostface Killer.
Arn
Wu-Tang
Anderson.
Clan. Yeah.
Yep.
Arn Anderson. Always Arn.
Always.
Arn's great. Arn is always kicking ass. Arn might not be the guy on top. He might not be the leader, but you don't want to fuck with Arn because if you do, you're gonna have hell to pay. Like Arn
Right.
is he's the enforcer.
He is. He's the guy
Promptly
like
named.
Yes. If you beat him up and win the fight, you win that day. But he will come back for you.
Yeah, he's very much like in good not Goodfellas, but in Casino with Joe Pesci.
Oh, shit,
Where like if you beat him with fists, he's gonna come back with a bat. If you beat him with a bat, he's gonna come back with a knife. If you beat him with a knife, he's gonna come back with a gun. Like he's just constantly escalating violence.
Right. I mean G Glock Arn. Right.
That's how he rolls. That's exactly what it is. Also, that man forever looked 35 to 40. Mm-hmm. He's just constantly stayed that age. Like even when he was in, it's like a weird Benjamin Button disease where he is just forever like just paused in time.
Yeah. It's like when he stopped wrestling, that's when he stopped aging.
Yeah.
Or that's when he started aging. I guess you should say. Yeah.
Yeah, but for like a good 30 years, he just looked like the same guy.
Looked like the same dude.
And then he stopped wrestling and just kept drinking Miller Lite and gained 35 pounds. And,
Right.
and now he's just like, yeah, I'm old.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just think of all you have to do is he's the 80s gym coach.
Yes. Oh my God. I would be
Right?
so stoked if Arn Anderson was coaching football at my local high school.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, that's a guy I want the kids talking to.
Right.
With some solid halftime speeches.
Right?
Yeah. Oh.
Right, and I think he would be a solid special teams coach too.
Oh, just telling guys to get down there and spine buster people.
Just go as fast as you can and hit him as hard as you can.
Do something dirty. Put a thumb in an eye. Look, guys, look, are we here to have fun or are we here to win? I think you know. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, now you know.
And act as such.
Yeah, get on board. Listener, so before we get into the main topic tonight, just got to get a few things out of the way. You know where to find me at Neil to No One on Instagram. And then Justin, to find you on Instagram, you can find him at Justin 3000 Stewart, also Six Bomb Boards, and the website justin3000.com, where we're talking about comics night, but you also have comics up on your website. What's happening?
Yes, I have my website features a multitude of stuff that I've done. Logos, prints, pinups, posters, and then included in that is some comics that I've done. And so on there are Slapjaws, which is a comic that I did written by friend of the show, Ian Robinson.
Yes.
And so it's a tale of Jaws, but done as a hockey fight or a hockey game, I guess you could say.
I appreciate that you're bringing two great 70s movies together with the idea of like Slapshot meets Jaws.
Yep.
Where you're combining two of my favorite movies from the 70s. And they're two very different movies.
Absolutely. And it works great. So you can read it for free. It's just 6 pages. And then also on there is the Howl of the West that I did with writer Wes Gift. He wrote it. It's a werewolf Western story. So that's another 8-pager. And also I have the Microphone Fiend, which is written by Sean Pryor and is about Raphael of the Ninja Turtles and is essentially a comic love letter to Eric B. and Rakim's Microphone Fiend off of the album Follow the Leader.
Yeah, and this is very cool because this is a thing where listener kind of think of it as like a comic where you're looking at a fight scene that is set to a soundtrack.
Yes.
And, would you encourage people to listen to the song while they read the book? Or
Yes, absolutely. I would encourage people to listen to the song first and then read the comic and then listen to the song and read the comic at the same time.
Nice. Okay. Hell yeah.
Because,
That's the way to digest it.
Yeah, because the last 4 pages of the comic is the song. So the caption boxes are what Eric B is saying, or
Nice.
Rakim is saying. Sorry. So it's I would highly suggest listening to it and doing both.
Nice. Listener, go do this. Justin is a fantastic comic artist and illustrator, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight is comic books.
Comics.
Yeah. So you were in town. You're working the Comic Expo this weekend.
Yep.
Yep. Want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, it's down. It's the Duke Energy Center there, and it's the Cincinnati Comic Expo. So I'm there in Artist Alley, table B5. So I know it won't matter once the show goes up, but it's fine.
It's true, but again, if you can find your website at
Justin3000.com, and that links to my Instagram, and you can find pictures that I posted from the convention.
All right, yeah, listener, follow that. If you can't make the show this weekend that happened in the past, if you get a DeLorean, you can go back in time. But
Correct.
other than that,
but it is. I'm in a comic book mood because
Yeah.
I'm currently doing a comic book show.
doing the con.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you describe what a Comic-Con is like to somebody who's never been to one?
I'm sure you've seen them advertised if you've never been to one. It's the things where you have all these celebrities from various TV shows, movies, wrestlers, voice actors, that type of stuff. If you live in or around a metropolitan city, you've seen ads for there's a Comic-Con near you.
Yes, if you live near any city in America, you will get a Comic-Con at some point.
Right.
I'm not sure what the cutoff limit is but I've seen a lot of small cities that have Comic-Cons.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a place where people can go and buy toys and get autographs and hopefully come through Artist Alley and discover new art and artists that they enjoy and give us money.
Yeah, it's also one of those things that the internet has enabled to happen where nerds were able to meet online and figure out they were into stuff, and now they all combine in one area. It's the same thing with like Renaissance fairs.
Sure.
Where like that's a booming thing now because people are like, oh, I know where to go now. Like I finally have a place to interact with my people and go there. Yeah, and Comic-Cons are cool. Like I would say the downside is just like sometimes they get really packed, and that is a bummer when you're walking in the aisle and you kind of get claustrophobic.
Yeah.
But that's really the only downside. Like I've never seen anything violent happen at a Comic-Con.
Most everybody is on the same page about being cool.
Everybody's super cool.
Right.
Everybody is like super cool about space. Everybody like, and even when you're in those tight areas, like people are still like, you still got a good bit of room because everybody's kind of, trying to be as aware as possible of each other.
Right.
And yeah, most like at the worst thing you run into, you just run into somebody who's socially awkward. And that's really the worst thing that's going to happen in your day. And honestly, it's really not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, being behind a table, you are stuck there, right? So you have people who want to.
You are
stick
the
around.
Alamo.
You are.
Right. You can't go anywhere. You
Right.
are here. You are embedded.
Correct. And we become therapists and whatever else.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced this working cons before where people like you're behind the table and somebody gets you and now they just need to tell you about this thing they're going to do or what's happening in their life and why they're here today or who this character is. And it's you're stuck. You're just and you got to like try to do some kind of verbal jujitsu to get this person to move on and get away from you.
It is. You have to develop a certain. It is a movement, a way of acting, a way of projecting, a way of speaking that will lead them down a path of, all right, let's move this along. If there's nothing left to say, we can go our separate ways. It's cool. You can take off. It's all right. And that involves looking around, looking at other people, engaging with people that come to the table. So you're sort of trying to give off a vibe of because I am at work.
Right.
I'm pulling a 6, 7, 8 hour shift here sometimes.
Look,
Right?
Tim, we're not at the water cooler. Like,
not.
I'm at the sales table.
Right.
So I need to
I'm
interact.
trying to do business here.
Yeah. We're not going to be friends after this.
Right. I appreciate you stopping by. I got no problem with it. Hey, all good, all cool.
Yeah.
But let's keep it moving.
Keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that. I would say that to people that go to Comic Cons. Like, don't be the person that lingers too long, but also don't be afraid to be the person that says hi. Like, just because you say hi to somebody at a table doesn't mean you have to buy something.
Correct.
You're just saying hello. You're just being friendly, and you go and you look at their wares and you decide, like, do I want this or not? And
Right.
then you
Is it
move
for
along.
me or not?
Yeah.
And most of the time it's not. But the people who get it,
Yeah.
and they're great and they're awesome, and that's the beauty of Comic Cons is that there is something there for everyone.
Well, and you're not.
I think so.
And you're not going to find something new as a consumer that's there, or somebody who is enjoying Comic Con, unless you take those risks. Where you're like, hey, I'm just going to go to a table and see what's happening.
Right.
Because
What does this person make?
yeah, what's happening over here? Oh, I didn't even think about that story. Oh, I'm into. You say you were talking earlier about like doing like a werewolf western. And it's just like I've not heard of that before. Like in a movie or anything where you're combining the old west and werewolves. Okay, I'm interested. Okay, this is something that could be cool because you're putting together two things I like. I like werewolves. I like westerns.
Yeah, man.
Like, all right,
Yeah.
fucking cool. So yeah, listener, just if you go to Comic Con, keep your head on a swivel, say hi to people, go up to tables. Don't feel like you got to buy things, but also at the same time, yeah, if you're not going to buy something, just get going.
Right, and say thanks.
Yeah.
And we'll say, hey, thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. So let's talk about you collecting comics. So I know
right.
this has been a lifelong venture.
Yeah.
Do you know where you're at right now? Like, do you know how many books you have? Do you have like an accounting system
Dude,
on this?
Tank,
how are you tracking this?
Man, I have not been tracking it. Well, I'll say this. I have gone through many cycles throughout my collecting career because it has been a lifelong thing. I am 46 years old, and I have bought and sold and rebought and resold and rebought and resold. The Ouroboros is a never-ending thing, but what I've done is I've taken the stuff in single issues that I want to keep, and I'll get the hardcover of that. Or I'll get a collected version of that. So I don't have as many single issues as I used to have, but I still have the same amount of comics, if that makes sense.
Okay. So it's like a downsizing in a more spectacular fashion?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool looking,
Yeah.
but it's not taking... Is it taking up as much room, or is it taking up different room?
No, it's taking up just as much room.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's taking up just as much room. Please believe. And there's some soft covered trade paperbacks that are in the short boxes too, right? So like there's collected editions in the box on the floor. So yeah, but no, I mean that's how I collect now. And most of the time I'll get single issues of Usagi Yojimbo. I still collect that month to month. And anything that Jock does, I'll collect when that comes out. But most of the time, yeah, I'm just buying collected versions of stuff.
Okay.
So,
do you keep a weekly pull list to this day? Like,
No.
Okay. So
I have a monthly pull list.
a monthly. Okay.
Yeah. I have I order my comics online, and so every month I go and then I pre-order the shit that I want in 2 months' time, because you're ordering from this catalog called Previews, and so you order all your shit 2 months, sometimes 6 months ahead of time. So that's what I do.
Are you a quantity or quality collector at this point? Because
Quality.
It seems like you're veering toward quality.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you in the thousands in issues and books, or like are you? Because again, it is this thing where like you're not single issues, but at the same time you're collecting stuff into like trade paperback kind of format. Like,
Yeah, I'd probably say 1,200 stories.
okay,
You know.
nice, and
Amongst them all.
And that seems like a kind of thing where, from what you're speaking of, with this being a lifelong collection, where like you've dialed back to this point. Because I'm sure at some point it was way more above this.
Oh yeah, I used to have long boxes. Now I only have short boxes. I know that's That's some weaselly way to talk, but like I can quit anytime I want, right? I got short boxes now. I don't have long boxes anymore.
Do you know like what you were hovering around at your height within the collection?
Oh man, at my height, I probably had 12 long boxes, which will fit. It was probably around 10,000 books.
Whoa.
I had at one point.
How do you store that? Like where does that live?
It was in closets, and the long boxes sort of turned into makeshift nightstands and shelving and shit like that, right? And so then like once I had to move all of it, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
What is it like having a non-displayable collection?
It sucks, and that's why I've developed this sort of I trimmed it down to the shit that I really really like, and I've just let go of all the other stuff because there's no way I'll ever read it again. You know, if it really struck a chord with me, then I'll keep it. Otherwise, it can go live somewhere else.
Yeah, non-displayable collections are an interesting thing to me. Like where you get to a point where you have something you're collecting, it lives with you, it's in your house, but like you're not displaying it in a way in which like there's focus on it. It's just in storage. Mm-hmm. And that seems kind of weird to me because like most of my collections are display.
Yes.
I mean, outside of my hat collection, which my hat collection is functional, you know, same like my sunglasses collection, like it's something that I use functionally, but the stuff that like my toy collection, my beer glass collection, my beer can collection, all that kind of stuff is very much in a display way.
Right.
So I'm interested in this idea of like stuff that just gets packed away. Like why collect to that level where like quantity collectors, I guess, you know, you're stacking numbers, you're stacking bodies, you're leveling up how much of the stuff you have. Cause it does sound impressive when you say 10,000, I'm like, fuck man, that's wow.
It was a lot for sure. It was a lot, and then I realized, okay, this is not conducive to how I want to collect, right? And it wasn't, and it comes with getting older of like I want to have cool shit to display. I don't want it to all sit in boxes,
right?
I don't care what it is. I don't care how much it's worth. If it's just sitting there in a box that no one can see or no one can read or go through, why does it need to be there? So now, you know, I've upgraded to hardcovers, collections, collected editions of stuff that I can go to my bookshelf and be like, yes, I want to read The Demon again. So there it is, right there on the bookshelf. Yoink, here we go. You know, and I don't have to dig through boxes. I don't have to, you know, do any of that stuff. And I don't care about having or not having the single issues because that's not what it's about to me. It's about I collected the story, not the individual comics.
Yeah, at this point, like, I don't read comics near as much as I did when I was younger, but that is the way I consume comics at this point, is everything is in trade paperback or it's in book form, like it's in something where it's not single issues, just because, like, single issue comics, like, one doesn't take up too much space, but then they multiply.
Yeah.
And they multiply and and it takes up so much space. Like single issue comics, like after a while, they demand so much real estate in wherever you're living.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, I can't do this. And then you really do have to start to fine tooth comb that and be like, okay, what am I keeping? What am I putting away? Like, or selling because I just can't keep it. And, you know, now we all see like the digital comics online where you can just like get like the Marvel or the DC version of like a streaming service and, you know, read comics that way and not have to physically store them. And it's okay, cool. Like that also helps to solve that problem.
Yeah, for sure. And dude, I love going to the library.
Yeah.
Because comics and manga are in a place now where they're just as popular as anything else in the library, if not more so.
If not more so.
Right? And so the library is constantly getting like new shit.
Nice.
So you can if you're patient like me, you can wait and read all of that storyline that you might have had an interest in, that you know tangentially saw, you know, in your comic book shopping, you know, that you weren't able to pick up that day, but you're like, you know what, I might be into that. Go to the library.
Do you have a governor to your collection? Does anybody in your life tell you what you can do? Like, does Leslie have like parameters where she's like,
No.
"Okay, this or
No,
that?" Okay.
no, that's yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons that that she's my wife. And she's like, no, if you're into it, get it.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of knew that going in because like I've been to your house.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and-
for sure,
And,
yeah.
and the fact that like pop culture comics just permeates throughout the entire house. Like it's just everywhere. It's on every wall.
Yeah.
It's just everything is covered in art.
Yeah, we celebrate the shit that we're into, you know.
Nice.
So in any way that we can, whether that be comics or toys or posters or whatever.
So what originally like drew you into comics? Like what? Like, do you remember like when you started?
Oh man,
to
I
do
was
this?
I was comics from the very beginning. I was comics before Star Wars, before G.I. Joe, before He-Man. I was born in '77, and so my parents were always sort of they were going to like auctions and yard sales and all this stuff all the time. We were living in Florida at the time. And so they were constantly going to auction houses and yard sales and storage unit sales and shit like that. And they would just bring me boxes of comics that they would find at these places.
Wait, what part of Florida were you living in?
Pensacola,
Pensacola.
right on the tip of the panhandle, right next to Mobile, Alabama.
Hell yeah, dude.
Fucking A. Fucking A. Jet skis and cocaine.
Dude, Florida is such a wild ass state, the way it breaks down.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's the South, and then it's a bunch of theme parks, and then it's like a bunch of Cubans and like in neon.
Yeah.
Like
it's a wild ass place.
It's a wild
man.
ass state.
It is a wild ass place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
and
right.
then alligators and pythons.
Yep. Yep. So that's where I cut my teeth as a kid and a young man. So
Hell yeah, dude.
so yeah. So they would just bring home boxes of comics, and it got to a point where I was reading, all this stuff that they brought, and then I realized that, oh shit, you can get comics at the grocery store where my parents went and grocery shops. So I would pick out comics then, and they would get me what couple 2-3 comics that I picked out, and then they discovered that there was an actual comic book shop in Pensacola. It was called Sincere Books and Comics, and I remember my mom telling me, "He's like, hey, there's a place here that sells nothing but comics," and I went, "Holy crap!" Like it blew my 12-year-old mind. And so she took me, and I bought a bunch of Punisher War Journal back issues, and I had a shirt on that had the Punisher on a motorcycle, like jumping over it was Captain America on a motorcycle jumping over a hill, right? And he's like, and the guy's like, "That's a Jim Lee shirt," and I went, "What?" He's like, "Jim Lee drew that image on your shirt." And he goes, "We have his new comic right here." And he pointed to that issue of Uncanny X-Men that had Wolverine and Captain America and Black Widow on it, all in profile in World War II, right? And I bought that comic that day. And I realized, like, oh, shit. Like, people recognize artwork. Like, I didn't know that was a Jim Lee drawing on my shirt, but that guy did.
I like the fact that you lived in a red state and your first idea was to get a Punisher comic.
Yeah. Punisher War Journal.
I mean, this tracks. I mean,
Absolutely, man.
you can't outrun your environment. I mean, it is
No,
what
man.
it is.
Yeah. I lived where I lived, homie.
Yeah, it's just like obviously this is cool. Yeah, it is interesting to think about like what are the books that like first attract you to comics. I think the first thing I saw was I remember it was at a Schreiber's Pharmacy in McConnellsville, Ohio, and I saw a what were the books where it was like Marvel Presents or something where like Sam Keith did a lot of artwork. on it.
Yeah. Marvel Comics Presents.
Yeah, and I saw an issue where it was like one half was Ghost Rider and one half was Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, cool. And instantly I just wanted to read and look at this. And
Yep. That's specifically those Sam Keith covers is what influenced my love of Ghost Rider.
yeah.
Like seeing those drawings, I was like, holy shit. Like you can make stuff that looks this crazy, and it's people love it. And I loved it.
Yeah, Sam Keith got me into again, like just he also distracted me because it was just this whole thing where it was like it just wasn't the normal comic book stuff at the time, because like I'd seen drawings of
Yep.
Spider-Man, I'd seen drawings of Captain America and stuff as a kid, and I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I saw that, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? Like this
Yeah,
is kind of
anything that deviated from that house style was always more attractive to me.
yeah, where I was like, oh, this is something different. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people were starting to go through that at that time, because in the 90s, like people, like the 70s and 80s were a lot alike. Like at some point things got away from Kirby in comics, but then there kind of became like a default style. And then in the 90s, like that started to shift with people coming in like McFarlane and Jim Lee and Rob
Yeah.
Liefeld, like all the Image guys.
Yeah,
Like,
the artists became the superstars.
Yeah.
And it just went up from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then everything just kind of started to change after that into like different people and, you know, what they could do. So who inspired you as an artist? Like who were the artists when you were a kid that like made you want to start drawing, made you want to start making comics?
Well, that guy at Sincere Books and Comics, you know, mentioned, hey, that's a Jim Lee drawing. So I naturally noticed that, oh shit, Jim Lee did the covers to these Punisher war journals that I'm buying. So that's when I started to keep track of artists, and so Jim Lee was the first one that I started to pay attention to. But then I started looking for other stuff. So then that's when I found Sam Keith and Marvel Comics Presents, and then that's when I found Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld on X Factor, and you know, and shit like that. So I was right in that sweet spot of early 90s stuff, of actually paying attention to artists. So it was that crop of early Image guys that inspired me to like actually try to do this thing.
Is there anybody that you really dig today, like among your peers that you're into?
Oh man, well my bestie in the world, Jim Mahfood. He's the guy. Jim Mahfood is the guy that I was like, I saw his shit in the mid 90s and was like, I can do that. Or I can do that, but I can see where he's coming from, because it was not a house style. It was not a typical comic book looking type of thing. It was you know, in the mid 90s there was this another independent boom happened. And like seeing his stuff, I was like, oh shit, you can do stuff like this now. So I'm happy that I can call him a homie. But his shit has always inspired me. But yeah, you know, again, Sam Keith, and then when I discovered Bernie Wrightson's stuff, like, oh my god, that blew my mind. And I didn't appreciate Jack Kirby when I was a teenager.
I didn't either. And
I didn't get it.
And now that I'm my age, I understand. Like, I think discovering Kirby is kind of like discovering jazz if you're a musician, where it's like if you're a kid, you don't understand how great it is, but then when you're an older man, you're like, oh, this is very fucking cool.
Right, and I think it comes with patience, or learning patience. Right, is like you can actually sit with it and be like, oh, okay, he's doing this sort of stuff, and you think back to back then where he was just pumping out pages.
Yeah, and
like that dude was a machine.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with it is I think about that, where I think about the workload that Jack Kirby had and the amount of work he was putting out, and it's incredible that the quality is that, because today people are not on that schedule.
Yeah.
Like there's way more people working on way more books and creating way more art. But at the time it was just kind of like, for Marvel, two man's vision, you know, him and Stan Lee, you know, working together in concert on this. But yeah, it's like there's a difference between writing the shit and drawing the shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And his stuff, like his stuff just moves.
Yeah.
Like Kirby's stuff just moves, and his storytelling is so on point that you just can't fuck with it.
There's also so much weird stonery, trippy shit that's going on with Kirby stuff.
Yeah, there's
and I also don't know like if Kirby ever did drugs.
No, there was a time where Kirby was like super inspired by the Aztecs. And because there was a big display going on in I forget, somewhere in New York City, there was a big art display of all this ancient Aztec and Mayan, you know, headdresses and costumes and architecture and all this stuff. And he went down there, and that's where all the Eternal shit came from. Was that, and like you look at Galactus and he has this crazy like headdress and stuff and skirt and all this, like it's inspired from all that stuff. So I don't think he ever did drugs. He was just soaking in all kinds of culture and art and creativity.
I would just like to ask him like how he came up with Kirby Crackle, like how he decided that was the thing that was going to happen.
Honestly, I think he just needed to fill space. He needed to fill space, and he needed to make it feel like, okay, what feels like this sort of thing powering up or gathering energy? Okay, I'll just put a bunch of dots here, like it's collecting itself, right? And I think that's probably the genesis. I don't know.
And it's also something that like it does fill space, but it doesn't in a way where it's not solid fields. It's taking up space and it's working with the background, and it pushes the crackle forward. So it creates a contrast. Like you can put any color behind it. If you have like solid black orbs, you're gonna create a contrast in which there's gonna be a push and pull.
Yep. He knew what he was doing.
He really did. Like just one of the finest of all time.
So yeah, but going back to like who inspired me or whatever, like I try to not ever stop looking at stuff. So I'll find like I just discovered this artist Aubrey Beardsley, this like weird pen and ink artist from way back when. That I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna steal some of this stuff too, because that's really what we're doing, right?
Yeah, I definitely think as part of being an artist is just like you end up taking stuff from other artists to make your art because you're influenced by stuff. I mean, yeah, the whole thing where somebody's like, oh, you're stealing, it's like, that's not a bad thing in this situation. It's like, it would be like telling a musician they were stealing something. I mean, like, I get if you do something that's like, whatever people's feelings are on like Greta Van Fleet to Led Zeppelin, where it's like, it's very obvious this is the copy or this is just what they're doing. Okay, I kind of get that on some level, but like if you're taking from like 6 different things and then you combine them together, or you're taking an element of one thing and adding it to what you do, like that's just being an artist. That's just
right. As long as you're just
learning
not
techniques.
Yeah, as long as you're not just straight up copying it.
Yeah.
then yeah, use all the influences you can by stealing all of the tricks that you think are cool, because the thing that you think is the coolest is not what someone else thinks is the coolest. The way that this person draws a loop on a belt, or the way this person forms smoke, other people don't give a shit about that.
Right.
But that's what you're attracted to in the drawing, and so that's what you take and put in your drawings. And then people are like, oh shit. And that's why it always makes sense to find the people that you're influenced by and find out who influenced them. Because then you'll just find an even deeper hole of like, oh shit, wow, and you just can kind of keep going back and back and back, you know?
Yeah, as far as comic artists go, the one person I always keep going back to for me is Jeff Darrow. Like, I love his shit. I think it's so awesome. I love how overly worked everything is.
Yep.
It's just constant. It's
right.
just there's so much shit there,
and all the line weight is the same.
It just works. And I don't understand how he does it.
I don't either.
I don't get it. I remember running into his work one time when I was a kid. I was flipping through an issue of Wizard, and there was a gatefold poster inside, and he did this thing where it was like Spawn versus this weird like robo mech creature with and it was wearing chaps because it had mud flaps over its ass, because of course it's Jeff Darrow, so it's like it's detailed down to the point that you can see the mud flaps on the ass of this thing.
Absolutely,
you know, and it's just like what is this? You know, like used to seeing normal everyday comics and people knocking out of the park, but the amount of detail just. And there's people all over the street, and there's people, and there's shell casings all over the ground.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's just
that dude does debris like nobody's business.
Yeah. I always liked Simon Bisley's work, or Bisley.
Yep. The Biz.
Just very crude and like wild and weird, and
dude, the stuff that he did on the Casey Jones miniseries back in the day. Just it blew my mind at the time.
Yeah.
Like, or when I finally got a chance to get a hold of it, I was yeah, my face melted off.
Like his cover work, the stuff he did for like Lobo and for heavy metal.
Yep.
Just it was this weird painterly thing, but everything was very crude and just wild looking and violent.
Yeah, and his
movement.
pen and ink work is just as crazy.
Yeah.
It's just as wild, and it's just as energetic and kinetic and gritty. Yeah.
Yeah. And then help me with this last name, Bill Skiniznik or
Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz.
Yep. Sienkiewicz.
Dude, holy shit.
Yep.
Like, it just...
Grandmaster.
Like this weird thing where it's abstract, but it's not. It's illustrative, but it's beautiful. It's fine art meets commercial. Yeah, there's so many things happening here.
Yeah, that guy is... he's a universe unto himself. He's a definitive art touchstone, especially in the comics community, because that guy has worked for everyone. He's drawn or painted pretty much everyone, and his shit never, like, there's never a lame Bill Sienkiewicz drawing.
Yeah.
Like, they don't exist.
No.
At least none that I've seen anyway. I'm sure he would say different, but that's what all artists do, right? We all say that we have shit that's lame. But for me, yeah, like it's every time he knocks it out of the park. And I don't know what his process is. I don't know how many times he goes through revisions or how many thumbnails he does, but I would think that as you get, especially to where he's at, like he probably has an intuition of things, and he just
Kind of
nails
one
it every
shot,
time. Yeah.
Yeah. His sense of movement and motion is just wild. Like,
Man.
That whole idea of how he communicates things and
Yeah.
Incredible. And it's just something you don't see in normal comic books.
Yep. He was one of those guys that changed the course of how stuff was made.
Do you have a favorite inker and or colorist?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I mean, I think as far as favorite inkers go, probably Danny Meeke. He inked a lot of John Romita Jr. stuff back in the day. I always thought his stuff was really great. He inked some David Finch Moon Knight stuff that looked really great. Colorist, I don't know, man. I'll default to my good homie Rico Renzi, who did all the original Spider-Gwen stuff. Anything that he does, I pick up because I love his style and his vibe.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those are two very underappreciated things in comics, and it needs to get more love because those are the bass players and the drummers of artwork, where it's like, the pencils are the lead singer and the guitar, but the backbone of this thing that makes it work is you can have the best drawing in the world, but if the inks are shit, that's a problem.
Yep.
That's a major problem.
Yep. Both. If you have shitty inks, it can ruin it, and if you have shitty colors, it'll ruin it.
Yeah.
And I've seen shitty colors more often than shitty inks, or more oftentimes overdone colors, I should say. People think that because we have the technology that we have, that everything should be as rendered out as fucking possible.
Yeah.
They're like, no, man, this is comic books. This is a different thing. This drawing doesn't need to look like it's real.
Yeah.
So you don't need to render it to where it's in the real world. This is a drawing, and it should match the artist style as opposed to what you think it should look like.
The more we get to this point where we're having realism in everything, it makes me appreciate art shit more, where it's not meant to look real. It looks real, but it's not meant to look real. It's illustrative.
It's illustrative, yeah.
I grapple with this within video games right now, playing stuff, because there's some stuff I do want to look real, but there's other stuff that I want to have an artsy style to it. Like, I'm stoked that there's things like Borderlands, where, it's like, it's like a weird, cool, like, comic-y looking game.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm having so much fun, and it has its own unique style and vision to it. Roller Drome did the same thing. They had similar graphics where you played as this lady who is inside of a different, like, she's in this environment of skate ramps and shit, like skate parks, but she also has guns, and then she has to take out sentries that also have guns that are trying to shoot her. And the way you get your the ammo back is by doing tricks.
Oh shit.
And you also string together combos by killing people and doing tricks. So, yes, listener, pick up Rollerdrome. Positive review.
Yeah.
All right, so favorite heroes. Like, who do you like in comics?
I love Hellboy.
Hellboy?
Yeah.
Hellboy is A1?
Yeah. Hellboy is a number one.
Why?
Because he's well, I mean, the way Mike Mignola crafted that universe is amazing and incredible. And that, that original Seed of Destruction story was something that I was like, it kind of changed me as far as how I read comics and what I read. And so being able to sort of latch onto that, because I remember latching onto a lot of the Image stuff and thinking like, oh shit, yeah, this is my universe. This is my Spider-Man, with Spawn and shit like that. Like, and it happened so fast that tragically a lot of that Image shit fell off. But Dark Horse kind of learned from Image, and they paced themselves enough, and so Hellboy came out regularly. So that was the first one that I was like, oh shit, I can get this on a regular basis, and I can follow it, and it can be like it's a brand new thing, and it's so yeah, Hellboy's up there.
Nice. What about other heroes? Is there like traditional heroes that you
I love
like?
Batman.
Batman?
I love Batman because Batman and Ninja Turtles, because those two can be anything.
Yes.
You can tell grim and gritty violent shit with both of those. You can tell wacky, bugged out, insane shit stories with them too. You can go to space with them. You can go to it's like, yeah, you can do anything with those properties.
It's totally true. You can put them underwater.
You can put them underwater, right? Yeah.
You can put them
Send them to different dimensions.
old school Japan. Yeah,
Right, yeah, send them through time.
Put them in the prehistoric age.
And it's a concept that works.
Yes, both of these things have proven that. Damn, that's what you need to be. If you're a property where you can time travel, holy shit, talk about gold.
Right,
Predator.
Right. And I think like those are the characters that I'm most drawn to.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as big time folks.
Yeah, I think this is where Predator and Alien falls into that category too, where like they can kind of travel in between timelines and wherever you want to stick them. Like especially after seeing Prey, where it was just like if it wasn't clear before, it's clear now.
It is.
This thing just works wherever you want to put it. Mm-hmm. It's totally cool. What about villains? Like who do you like to follow on that side?
My favorite villain is I'd say my favorite Marvel villain is the High Evolutionary.
Who the fuck is the High Evolutionary?
He was in the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Oh shit, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
But
he is a dude who is sort of one of those brilliant genius scientists who the world mocked and drove away. And so he's like, all right, fine, I'm just going to go do this sort of island of Dr. Moreau and make weird animal hybrid people. And I don't think anybody's going to stop me, because if you do, I'm just going to send my hybrid animal people to destroy your cities.
Did you like him before part 3, or did you discover him through part 3?
No, I discovered him through comics, man. And I just always thought that he had the dopest look. Nice. Like I put it this way. I'm drawn to villains visually.
Okay.
I have always thought that the villains looked way cooler than any of the heroes. And so High Evolutionary is decked out in this like crazy pink, almost like an apron, because his arms are silver and his legs are silver, but his head and his torso is this crazy like crimson pink, and it goes down into this like semi-skirt dress galactic-y kind of thing that's also this crazy pink color. And he's got this weird hose that connects from his forehead to the back of his head. He just looks fucking insane.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm drawn to crazy looking villains like that.
Well, as you're explaining this, like in my head, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I think it's because, like, superheroes, like the good guys, always have like round things, but if you're the villain, you can have jagged things. You can
Yes.
have weird wobbly things.
Yes.
Like there's really no rules for you,
Right.
And I think that's why Ghost Rider gets over so much as like an anti-hero, because he has like the cool flame thing where that can be like a whole jaggedy weird
Right? What's
mass.
cooler than a fucking dude on a motorcycle that's a flaming skull?
Flaming Skull. I mean, yeah,
You can't.
It writes itself.
It absolutely does. You can't go wrong with that imagery, and if we wanted to track it all the way back, we could take it to Ichabod Crane and
Yeah.
and but no, like, what's fucking cooler than a skull on fire?
Yeah, it works. I mean, a pumpkin on fire is very cool too. I mean, you light anything on fire. It's pretty cool.
And I prefer Ghost Rider when the wheels are both on fire.
Okay, solid. Okay,
Right, because there's been some instances where the wheels are not on fire of the bike.
I mean, if we're going to buy into the fact that Ghost Rider has a flaming skull, I feel like we can buy into the fact that the tires are on fire.
Same.
Like
Same.
like you don't. At that point, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. Like,
Correct.
Go ahead and light those
Correct.
tires up.
But other villains, I love Galactus. I love Doom. I love Psycho Man.
Doom's a solid villain.
Doom's great.
Doom has incredible costume design.
Love it.
And,
Love it.
And then also like working with MF Doom with the mask and how that has become its own like icon.
It has. It absolutely has.
Dude, like so cool. A huge fan of what like the Doom mask has become. Like it is one of those things that just you see it, you instantly recognize it. Like there's no way you don't. Like if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
And then you're like Doom.
Doom.
Yeah. I was always a big fan of Batman's Rogues Gallery. I feel like he always had the best Rogues Gallery.
He arguably, yes, the most solid Rogues
like,
Gallery. Yeah.
Like I feel like it's kind of between him and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Always,
because
yeah.
the Sinister Six. But yeah, man, like I do feel like those are kind of the go-tos as far as villains go. Joker, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird default. I feel like at this point, I feel after all like the time that the attention's been paid to him, you know, it's like it's kind of just like, oh yeah, of course it's number. But it's like it is what makes Batman work is that he has a yin to the yang. Like there's this total opposite. Like there's this logical Batman who is just trying to make good happen, and on the other side of you have Joker who is just complete chaos. Like his entire existence is just meant to fuck shit up for no rhyme, for no reason. He doesn't even know why he does it. Like it is what it is.
Right, because he can.
Yeah,
And
because
because he knows that Batman will be there to stop him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I'm drawn to the more to the people like Moon Knight and Ghost Rider, and characters like that sort of fight monsters. I would rather read that than something like the same villain every month.
What are your favorite books outside of superhero books? Like things that exist that are, you know, something where it's not part of the DC Marvel Image universe, like stuff where it's like one-off stories, or it's like maybe something like through Vertigo where it's more contained. What do you like?
Oh yeah, well I mean, you know, go back to Hellboy, which then will lead into the BPRD, so the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense. That has its own line of books and stories, which I think will, and they all intertwine in a way that there's information in each story in each book that will tie to another one, but you don't have to know, right? Like, but once you read them all, you'd be like, oh, that was when they were on this mission and blah, blah, blah. You can tie it all together. So I thought I love that stuff. There's a book that I really, really enjoy called Farmhand from Image. It's by Rob Guillory. It's the only way I can explain it is this sort of patriarch of a family has a vision, and he immediately wakes up and writes this formula down, and then he can regrow human organs out of plants.
All right, cool. Hell yeah, dude.
It's fucking wild, man.
This guy's completely taking down the healthcare system, or he's feeding into
Right,
it. One of the
right.
two.
And there's a plot point about that too. So there's a commentary on that in the book. And I think I love that story. There's another story called Giant Days that is, and again, knowing me, I'm going to describe this story to you, Tank. It's about three women rooming together in their years of college and their various ups and downs throughout their college years. That's one of my favorite things I've ever read.
Really?
Yeah. It's written by this guy named John Allison, and it was illustrated by Max Sarin. And that dude's cartooning is next level. Like, just I remember seeing his art and just being blown away.
Do you like Tegan and Sarah?
I do.
Okay, this tracks. All right.
But no, I even gave that the first trade paperback to my wife, and she's like, "What's this?" She's like, "I don't like it."
Did she ever come around where she was like, "No"?
Yeah, I'm a squishy emo artist boy, right? Like,
all right, hell yeah, dude.
I can identify.
Oh shit. I was always a fan of Preacher. Like that was
Preacher
that was the series that I read from front to back. I really thought that was a cool idea. The idea of Jesse Custer being like hit with it was like the word of God or the whatever it was,
the power of the word,
the power of the word, where it was an angel fucked a demon, and then their creation hit him, and then he was able to tell people to do shit, and they would do it.
Right, he's powered by demon angel come.
Yeah, which who doesn't want to be powered by demon angel come?
I mean,
wow.
Look at what you can do.
Yeah.
He makes a guy stop and count grains of sand.
He does. And then
as a way to escape.
Yeah, and then there's also at one point where they issues later they go back to the beach and the guy's still counting the grains of sand, and then the wind hits the sand, and one of the panels is the guy just looking down defeated, and then the next panel is him going 1, 2, 3,
and he's just weeping the entire time.
Just crying because he's never getting off this beach.
Right. Listener, go read Preacher.
Look, listener, that sounds like bullying. It is, but it was for good. And
it was for good.
And it was just trust us on this one. It's okay. Like those. I enjoyed the Southern Bastards books. Like, I thought that was cool. Like this weird series about a like crime family thing in the South that was revolving around high school football.
Yep.
But it works.
Right,
and
where the high school football coach is sort of like a kingpin.
Yeah. Like very Roadhouse.
It is.
Yeah. Like he runs this town. Yep. He runs this football team.
Right. It's like Casino meets Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Very. Yeah. Yes. That exactly. Indeed. And I also was really into the Walking Dead books when they first came out, but at some point, just the oversaturation of everything involved with Walking Dead, and I was over it. But like getting into the original part of that before the TV series or anything, and reading like the prison storyline, it was like, holy shit, man, this is awesome, because it was exactly what I wanted to be. Like, I wanted to see what a Romero film would be like if a Romero film just kept going. And the original run of Walking Dead delivered that.
Yeah.
Where like
those first 50 issues are solid fucking comic book stuff.
Yeah, one through the end of the prison storyline is fucking good. After that, it starts jumping sharks and recycling ideas, and there's problems. But the first 50 issues is a good idea of like what it'd be like to long term live in a zombie apocalypse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, do you have a favorite story arc of all time?
I don't.
Okay. Is it? Do you have like a top 5? Like, so it's like if somebody comes to me and they like ask me like top 5 movies, like I can't give you number 1, but I can be like, Road Warrior's in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Repo Man's in there.
Yeah. The Demon from Jack Kirby is in there. Seed of Destruction from Hellboy is in there. The first collected edition of Invincible is in there. The first collected edition of Walking Dead is in that top 5.
Oh, really?
I would also say, fuck, I don't know. I wanna go McFarlane Spawn.
Okay.
Just for, I don't know.
Can I ask you this? Are we going to treat McFarlane spawn like a really hot woman, where it's like we're not really worried about the brain, but like va 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 voom.
Right. Like, there's a reason that book got as popular as it is, and
It looks amazing.
Has stayed as hot as it is.
Is the story good? Yeah. But does it look really fucking cool? Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So yeah, but that's the wild thing about comics is there's a story for everyone.
Right.
I love the original Tomb of Dracula story. I think that's great. I love the first that first like Bill Sienkiewicz run of Moon Knight. I think is incredible. But that's for me. It's like, I talk to people like, what do you like? I'm like, so.
I'm a total normie. I return to The Dark Knight Returns a lot. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's just
yeah.
It's a story that just works. Like, it's the Batman that I want, and it also focuses on the 80s, which is a unique storyline time for me because I was born in the 80s, and just looking back on stuff that set up where the world is now that I live in is very interesting to me. And it very much focuses on that time.
Yeah.
So I always like that. Again, preacher thing for me, definitely in there. I don't know. I don't know if I have like a superhero storyline that I like ever really was super into all the way through. I think the most impactful on me was when Magneto pulled out Wolverine's adamantium.
Oh hell yeah!
Like that fucked me up.
I do love the Age of Apocalypse X-Men storyline. The Joe Mad shit was great. I love the Chris Bachalo stuff that he was doing in Generation X during that time is great. So yeah. And of course, I mean, I've been collecting for fucking years, dude. So there's tons of stories.
I also remember back in the day, like, do you remember the way the world was during the Superman dies storyline?
Oh my god, yeah.
That was a big thing that happened where it like that was one of those things that reached outside of comics.
Yeah, that was the sort of that. Yeah, that was a thing because you think about before that, there had been the Spider-Man and Superman crossover. There'd been the Superman versus Muhammad Ali issue that came out, but nothing really sort of garnered the media attention that Superman dies. And I think that was coupled with the cable news era, like the dawn of the cable news era, where there's like shit that needs to be constantly talked about.
Yeah.
And that was one of the stories that got mixed in with that stuff.
Yeah, ever since the OJ trial, like there was a thing where we need to fill time on TV where there's always something we're talking about, and there's just something.
Well, that Death of Superman was pre-OJ, right? So that was 94, 93, I think, because OJ was 95, right? Or 96. I don't remember. 95, I think. But I want to say, yeah, Death of Superman was pre that.
Yeah.
You can cut this out if that.
That's okay. No. It's fine. Look.
It was like Gulf War era shit, right? So
yeah.
like the Gulf War was the constant thing that was on CNN.
Yeah,
so then that ended, and they're like, "Fuck, what do we fill
what
time
do we do
with?"
fill time? Yeah, because that was the full time thing. Yeah, the whole Wolf Blitzer like Gulf War thing was the thing where like CNN was 24/7. You come here, we got stuff we're going to show you. And then after that, like they did lose and then it was also like the LA riots. That was the other thing where it was like we need to cover this ad nauseum.
Yep.
And then it just kind of continued to this day where like we now always have something in the news that is happening and moving. That was like you and I were at the bar and we're talking about the Lauren Boebert thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's already a news cycle. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like that's just it's kind of gone now.
On to the next one.
Yeah, and then at the same time, like I pulled something up on ESPN.com where like Pat McAfee's show was at Notre Dame today. They were in South Bend, and somebody like made fun of Catholics like on the newscast, and that it's now a thing. Like people online are not happy, and it's just like, all right, well, this is a new thing. Like this is what we're going to next.
Yep.
It just everything continues forward. How has your collecting changed over time? Like, I guess you kind of answered this a little bit before with like now you've kind of shrank the collection a bit and started getting into more of a quality collection. Has how you display the collection changed over time?
Yeah, absolutely. I've gotten different shelves and stuff like that over time, but mostly I've stuck with my current setup, which is a couple of IKEA shelves stacked on top of each other. So I do have a floor to ceiling shelving network going on. I mean, you've been down there, you've seen
It works.
And then I have appropriated our old entertainment center that we used to have upstairs, and that is where I store all of my super tall ass fucking artist edition books.
Nice.
That I'm super into, that I nerd out about, and so between those two, yeah, that's where the majority of the collection is.
Wait, can you expand upon to the listener the super large nerdy artist books?
Okay, so there's a company called IDW who puts out these books called artist editions. And what they are is they are essentially books, they are hardcover books that are collected versions of the original artwork as it was drawn before it was sent to print and shrunk down and colored. So it's all in black and white. Well, it's in color because you can see the blue line that some of the artists use, and you can see the whiteout and stuff over the ink and the new ink over the whiteout. So it's these oversized hardcover collections of comic books that are, you know, essentially the artist editions. They're the art as they were drawn at that size before publication. So they're super super nice and expensive and bougie, but as an artist, like, that's the stuff that really juices me up, is getting to see, because it's the closest that I can ever get to like original Kirby art.
Right.
Is looking at this stuff because it's scanned so well and it's printed at such a high resolution that you're like, oh man, you can see the smudges and the erase marks and all that stuff. So it's incredible.
Yeah, I think those books are just insane. Like the amount of detail it's in them, at what you get to see. Again, the size, and you're spot on with that. Like the way you see it on a smaller scale does not even begin to register compared to what it actually should be in this oversized stature. It's so nice.
Yeah, and so you can just see all of the master stuff that is put into this stuff, and some of the books are even bigger than other ones. I've got some stuff that you can only read on the floor.
Whoa.
You can't hold it.
What book is this? Like,
there's a big Kirby one. There's a big Kirby one, and then there's a big Jim Steranko one, and they are probably 2 feet tall, by, I don't know, however wide that translates to. Like, they're fucking big.
that sounds like a workout. It's like you're just deadlifting pages at this point.
Kind of, yeah, man. You can curl those shits for real.
What's the most expensive thing you have in the collection? Like, do you know what you threw the biggest dollar amount down on?
I have an X-Men number 17, I think, something like that. Or I mean, I would say my New Mutants 98, which is the first appearance of Deadpool. That's probably the highest price thing that I have that I can name right off the bat, because I can't remember what issue of X-Men that it is I have. That early one, which was actually my wife's father's copy that he entrusted me with. So I didn't originally own that one, but I did originally own the other one, and I have the first appearance of Hellboy, which is up there. I had a graded version of Invincible #1. It was a 9.8 graded, and I sold that last year for like $1,200.
Holy shit! Okay.
So yeah.
All right, let's get into that. Like, how does your collection work in terms of what stays, what goes? Like, are you constantly selling, or like how does this collection work?
I have a short box that I have for stuff that is going to get either sold or traded in somewhere. So I'll constantly be reading stuff and be like, do I want to keep this? Not really. So it goes into the box. And then when the box gets full, I take it to half price or I take it to a local comic book shop and I try to get as much for it as I can. And then I just trade it in to get other new shit. So but there's also stuff that I'm like, yes, I'm ordering this and I'm keeping this. This is permanently in the collection. This is for me. But yeah, so that's how that works. I'm constantly getting rid of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. With that in the collection, like I'm now starting to get to that point where I'm like, I feel like I need to purge things and whittle down. Like there's just stuff that I don't need to have, and it's just taking up space. Which, before related to the final question, before we get there, was there anything you wanted to say tonight about this that you didn't get to talk about? Like anything about comics that you want to hit upon before we get out of here?
Not really. Other than if you think that comics are not your thing, I'll tell you that you're wrong. Because I'll say there's a comic out there for you. You just got to ask around and find it.
All right. Final question. What do you want to have happen to your comic collection when you pass away? Like at some point you're not going to be on this earth anymore.
Right.
What happens to your books when you're gone?
I want my daughter to read them.
Okay.
And then after that, she can sell them. She can do whatever she wants.
Okay.
It's not up to me after that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a say in it anymore. Once I'm dead.
I think it's a weird thing with family collections where people like expect to give their collection off to somebody and they think that the person is going to keep it because it's not the same energy. It's like, hey, you might appreciate this thing because I liked it, but that doesn't mean that you love it. And sometimes that happens. Like there is sometimes when like you pass out a collection to somebody and it's something that they're also into and they're happy for it.
Right.
But I think that there's no shame in giving a collection to somebody and being like, hey, take this and sell it and let it go out in the wind. And, it now lives out in wherever it goes because on that level, it, number one, gives them money to do what they want in life to make them happy. And number two, it also makes other collectors happy because now they're getting a hold of something they couldn't normally get a hold of.
Right. Or if there are people that, if there are people that were your homies that were like, hey, I know he had that Empire Strikes Back Al Williamson artist edition, and I'd really appreciate it if I could get that from you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Take it.
Yeah.
You know? Shit like that. Like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I totally think there's something to be said about that. The idea of like figuring out what happens to your collection after you're gone and just in what you want it to be. Yeah. And also being cool with the fact that you just can't saddle somebody with like this. Because I think that was a thing that older generations did. I know that like my parents had that where like people like passed down like silverware sets or like like some weird furniture item there. It's like, hey man, like this just doesn't, I don't need this. Like, I get that it worked for you in your time and when this existed, but I don't need this, man.
Yeah, and we're sort of in this time now in life where like we're trying to teach our daughter like, if nothing serves you anymore, it's okay to sell it or to let it go or to give it away. Yeah. Like if it's not working for you anymore, if you're not into it, there's no need to hold on to it because it's just going to take up space.
Right.
Because cool shit's never going to stop coming out.
No. There will always listener, in America, there will always be capitalism and there will always be cool shit because of it. Like
1,000%.
People will sell you things. I will tell you that's never going to stop.
Never ever.
Yeah.
So it's just finding your avenue, right? That is most comfortable for you.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you again for coming on the show. Thank
You're
you
welcome,
for having this conversation. Let the listener know where they can find you at online.
Yeah, I'm just justin3000.com, and then that's got links to my Instagram and Blue Sky and everything else.
Oh, yeah. So. Listener, from me at No One on Instagram. If you have a friend that's in the comic books, do me a favor, share this episode with them. Algorithms, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
It's way easier if like you just text me and be like, hey, I know you're into this shit. Check this out. My friend does this show. That helps way more please and thank you. Justin, thank you for doing the show again. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. It's always a blast, and I'm happy to do it.
All right, listener, peace.